So Draymond Green got 5 games for that.
And I did say that the moment we saw that stream, that the suspension would come out.
It was one of the greatest sleeper holds I've ever seen in a non-WWE ring.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Hi, welcome. The floor is yours. I want to get right into this because this is great. I'm here. Timmy's here. Tony's here. Sean will be here momentarily. He's running back from getting. I heard a triple double in his men's league, so he's gonna be here very soon. I'm gonna ask him for a stat line. Draymond
Hopefully
Green.
not walking the Philly streets. Hopefully.
Oh yeah, you might.
Because you know what happens sometimes in the Philly streets.
We may or may not get to Kelly Oubre later on, but so Draymond Green got a 5-game suspension, and I was a little surprised that it was lenient, given that they said it was based on history. But listen, that sleeper hold was incredible. It didn't matter what was going on; he was going right for Rudy Gobert.
It meant immediately.
He saw his opportunity. It was his time to strike. My favorite part is Gobert with his hands up in the air. Like, no, we all see it, bro. Everyone sees it.
Karl-Anthony Towns, that's not how you help when someone's in a sleeper hold. Have you not watched enough wrestling, Karl-Anthony Towns? You got to clothesline Draymond Green in that situation. You got to actually or try to apply. Yes, Ric Flair's doing the Dusty Rhodes here in this photo. You got to try to apply your own sleeper hold. You can't just grab him or whatever. Like, come on. You know what I mean? Like, it's just stupid. But I love NBA fights. Anthony Davis tried to start one with the Memphis Grizzlies. That didn't go well either.
Do you think it's more impressive or less impressive that he had to jump over the man's back to put him in the sleeper hold?
He was gunning for him.
Is that the most athleticism the Warriors have shown all year?
And Rudy Gobert
has shown in a very long time.
Rudy Gobert had an interesting comment where he said Draymond Green got himself kicked out because the best part of that was the score was 0-0.
So the funny part about it, right? There was actually like 2 different WhatsApp groups I'm in that made the exact same joke that the moment Curry is not playing, the moment he sees Curry is out, he's like, all right, Curry's out 5 games with a knee injury. Let me take the time off.
All right, let's Manny put this comment on the screen from PV. I want that one. I want that one on the screen. From PV here. No, not that one.
No, not that one. Not that one. The other one where he misspelled 3 things. Yeah,
no Zach LaVine, stop slurping you little fruit cups. First of all, this is not a Heat show. This is an NBA show. So we can talk about whatever we want. Yeah, and even if Ethan said this was a Heat show, we can still talk about whatever we want. I'm not saying that the Heat should go get Zach LaVine. We're just going to talk about where Zach LaVine should go. So thank you, PV, for teeing us up. We're going to do that right now. Tony, give me your best Zach LaVine spot and why. Because right now the Chicago Bulls are supposedly entertaining offers for Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine's not necessarily denying this to the media. It's kind of like, look, I understand.
Well, we know he signed the clutch, so this is how they go.
Yeah, and Tony, is this because this is where I'm kind of at. I think, and I'm sure we'll touch on the Miami portion of this because there will be people watching that are interested in that outcome. But is this Lakers or bust? Because I kind of feel like this might be Lakers or bust.
Yeah, if they want him, it is. Obviously, like the asset management is kind of weird, but if you just get a third team involved, it's no problem. If the Lakers really want him and he wants to go there, this deal will get done. The only other trade that's sensible to me that gets a one-on-one is Charlotte. I think Charlotte kind of has the assets to make this deal happen.
That's interesting. I haven't heard Charlotte.
They kind of were peaking at Tyler Hero, right? They were peaking at him. So this is one of those things that I think fits in. If they wanted to get a Zach LaVine, I think they have a Gordon Hayward trade that makes sense. You throw in another piece like a Book Knight and you got the money, and then you throw an asset and it's done. But if the Lakers want him, the assets are about the same no matter what. You get me a young player, get me an expiring contract, a pick. Who cares? Zach's pretty much out of there, and he'll go to the team he wants to go to.
Let me hit the Charlotte piece of this real quick, and then I'm going to toss it to you, Timmy, because I think the package that I think Charlotte has to offer just in general for somebody making 40, 50 million is going to be like Terry Rozier, Gordon Hayward. The salary, it doesn't match up perfectly, but like, you know, there'll probably be an extra piece in there or whatever. I think the reason why I think this is kind of Lakers or bust is, well, clutch. But also, D'Angelo Russell's contract, I feel like, was signed to be traded. Gabe Vincent is also in that salary slot, and Gabe Vincent's still out with a knee injury. They said maybe 2 weeks ago, so probably a little bit longer. If you combined D'Angelo Russell and Gabe Vincent, that's getting you to like 30. So you're still probably going to need something else. You know what I mean? And I think Rui Hachimura is another contract where
you or Vando, one of those guys.
Yeah, like they could figure out a way to make it work very easily. The only thing is they only have one usable first round pick, but I also don't think Zach LaVine should yield that much because of what's left on his contract, which is 40 to 50 million per year for the next 3 or 4 seasons. Timmy?
I don't actually think LaVine's contract is as bad as people say. Like, I personally don't want him on Heat, but it's not going to be as bad as Beal. Like, Beal was supposed to play tonight, and he still got delayed another game for that back issue. Like, if I were to choose a gun to my head, I'd rather LaVine over Beal. You know, I wouldn't mind Rue in Miami, but yeah, I think it's going. I think it's going to be Lakers, but I do think Charlotte gets in the mix just because you need to start putting actual weapons around LaMelo. And I'm sorry, every time I think of LaMelo now, I think of Spoelstra like walking or the carrying. Please tell me, Brian, you saw that video. Did you see the video, Brian? Like,
Spoelstra was like, doing this shit.
Yeah,
he looked like a rapper doing like weird hand gestures in like the 90s and shit.
Yeah.
Imagine Spo rapping. Kaz says get Rui in a Heat jersey. Brenkert Drone Services says Miami needs Rui, and Van Lee says Lakers defense would be absolutely terrible with LaVine. I think those are all fabulous points. I don't know how the Heat would get Rui Hachimura. Well, actually, no, it would be Duncan Robinson and some sort of draft capital. But would you even do that right now?
Hear me out. Or facilitation. Help the Lakers get Zach LaVine. We have a $30 million expiring right here.
Where's he going?
We have it right here.
He goes to Chicago. He goes to
Chicago.
Reunite with DeMar DeRozan.
We would get pieces. You would get because the Rio and the Vando.
I feel like y'all would almost rather get in on the trade for not Zach LaVine.
I would.
I'd rather get Caruso. Give me Caruso and Vando.
Yeah, that works.
Vando from the Lakers.
What if you Caruso will cost picks? Like, if the Bulls are not dumping him, he's going to cost picks.
The outgoing will be Kyle Lowry, and incoming will be Gabe Vincent and Rui Hachimura. Get Gabe back. Look. Brecker Drone Services just says the same thing. Take Vincent back too. It's funny because Gabe would go back to Miami, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay, this is what the Lakers thought they were getting. The guy from the last couple seasons where he was actually
fans would be
role that made sense.
They would be pissed if Gabe starts hooping again.
They're comparing him to Kendrick Nunn right now, which
that's hilarious.
Yeah, it's also not inaccurate.
Didn't Kendrick Nunn not show up to play basketball though? He never.
No, it was a brawn bruise that literally lasted like 9 months.
And now he's in Greece. But yeah, so all of a sudden, hey, Sean, what do you think about this potential 3-team trade that we were just talking about now that you're here? Apparently,
he wasn't here for.
Apparently, we're sending Kyle Lowry sending Kyle Lowry to LA in a 3-teamer to help them facilitate and get Zach LaVine, and coming back to the Heat will be Rui Hachimura and Gabe Vincent. Your thoughts are what?
We give up Kyle and we get those two?
Yeah. You're probably giving up a pick. I'm sure you're giving up a pick. There's picks going everywhere. It's fucking NBA.
What are their contracts? Gabe and
Kyle
about.
I know Kyle's expiring.
Gabe was about
10. Gabe is 10 this year.
Gabe was 10 million
like
for 3 years.
6,
you was like about the same thing. You add 3 more years in salary on each player.
Chico's 77. It's not 4 years of Gabe. It's 2 and an option. I'm pretty sure it's a player option.
The way that I think Miami they get in on this is just giving Kyle and taking back one of the wings, just helping facilitate with the money. I think getting back useful and valuable players. If you can trade Kyle without sending a pick to get back any piece right now, pretty good. I'll take it.
But yeah, Sean, we were trying to figure out where LaVine goes, and all of us pretty much think it's going to be Lakers. Do you have a different opinion?
Well, I don't want him to come to Miami, and I know
None
he's a good
of us
player,
do.
but
None of us do. None of us do. So
Okay.
that's fine.
If you have Tyler, I don't think it makes sense because if he's an upgrade over Tyler, which the numbers say he is, I don't think it's much of an upgrade to do that for that shitty contract. He's not $10 million better than Tyler Hero,
In my opinion.
I would rather get, because correct me if I'm wrong, DeRozan's expiring, right?
Yes.
Exactly, and he's actually friends with Jimmy as well.
And I know the fit is weird with like the mid-range stuff and whatnot, but I would rather have a 1-year rental than LaVine's contract.
Yeah.
And I know everybody's got a boner for Caruso right now for some reason, but I mean, let's relax a little bit. It is Alex Caruso. I mean, I get excited about Drew Smith too, but I know he's better than Drew Smith, but he's also Alex Caruso. He doesn't shoot the ball that well. Like let's relax a little bit.
We're gonna touch on the Heat winning streak in a second because everyone at the network is doing it, so we'll give you all a few minutes on that.
One more trade. Ready?
Yeah.
Here's the other thing. I think is really easy.
I love trade talk. Like I can't lie to you guys.
Asset swap, disgruntled asset swap. Julius Randle and Zach LaVine.
Oh, woo! I thought
he was bringing to Miami too. I was like, what?
I would become Orlando Magic fan, boys.
I thought you were gonna say Julius Randle for Kyle Lowry, which you would still have to attach draft cap.
I would log out. I hate Julius Randle's game. I hate this game.
All right, let's
body fat exception.
Van Lee says LaVine isn't $13 million better than Tyler. I agree with that. I don't think he is.
Our playmaking gets worse. Fuck it, no.
Yeah, like some people will dispute this, but like I think even straight up, there's at least a conversation there because of age and health, right? Like if straight up LaVine for Tyler, I think that's even a conversation. Salaries, unrelated, but if you're talking about the salary difference, like Tyler Hero all day. And I'm allegedly the Tyler Hero hater here.
Hey, if we got LaVine, would he also be best suited coming off the bench? Does he just plug into that argument just like Tyler too, or is that not how this works? It's not transitive property. I'm not really good at math, so I don't remember what that rule was, but
I think once you make over a certain threshold, you have to automatically start, Sean. That's
okay.
the rub.
Thanks for clarifying.
We also were afraid that you were walking these Philly streets. We know certain things happen on sidewalks in Philadelphia. We were afraid.
Listen. That's why I had to make sure I was careful when I was driving. I was trying to plug in a few more player prop bets as I was driving here. I don't want to make sure I didn't hit anybody, Oubre or Pat Bev. I mean, I don't know who was walking the streets tonight. I don't want to take out any more Sixers. So
took the night off because Reggie Jackson missed 2 free throws and that therefore Denver didn't cover the 4.5. I was depressed. All right, let's get to the Heat's winning streak. Jaime Jaquez, I think at this rate could be a lock for all rookie. And I, again, one of the biggest proponents of him coming out of the draft. I thought he was going to be great in terms of like the value you could get for where he was going to be selected. Although I didn't think he was going to go to 18 in Miami, I thought he was going to go a little bit later. Then when he went 18
Your mic is doing a thing, Brian.
What's it doing?
Your mic is doing a thing. Like you sound like you've went underwater.
I should be good. I should be good.
You let your back window down. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Good.
No. We're not doing that. But PV's back. Great. Can we ban him again just for fun, Manny? Can we do that? Sean, I'll toss it to you since you just got here.
I appreciate the consistent watch.
The biggest thing that stood out to you in this winning streak is what?
I think that Spo and the staff and the players have figured out the recipe offensively. I think that he's been, he was emphasizing rim pressure. They've increased the rim pressure, which has led to a little bit of a reduction in the mid-range and a little bit of reduction in the reliance of three-point shots. They're not ever going to be a heavy rim team. That's just not how they're built. But I think that they're figuring out the offense. That is not because Tyler isn't there. They're just playing good offense. It's
Thank you,
okay.
Sean,
You
because
can insert
I'm really
Tyler and they
tired.
can run the same shit and it would still be good. And then defensively, it starts with Bam, but the people around him are so disruptive and so reliable that it allows him to be an even better defender than we already know he is. So I think that the competition level has been lower over this streak. But you know what? Wins in the NBA, especially on the road, are not easy. So I would not discount it either. So it's a good little streak, and they should be able to get another one tomorrow, I think.
I tweeted about this last night because I was saying that, and I was actually giving Tyler props because I was saying listen, there are people who are going to turn this into hey, look, Tyler Hero's the problem thing. And I'm like, give it 2 weeks because they haven't beaten a good team yet. But obviously, you only have so many characters on Twitter. So mad people took it as, oh, I'm taking shots at Tyler Hero, whatever. And it's just stupid. Just a stupid night. Tony, what do you think about all this? Do you think that they found a recipe that is sustainable against good teams? Because by the numbers, if you look at sort of the analytics, they've only beaten one good team this year, and it's actually not the Lakers. Yeah. It's the Atlanta Hawks, who have a really good net rating right now.
Yeah, I mean, they still have a lot to figure out as far as offensive processing goes, especially with the groups changing almost daily. But that's what a season is for. I think the things that you can hang your hat on, they're like fifth in steals, turnover percentage.
And to your point, Tony, it's the season. I keep on seeing these complaints about injuries. Do you guys watch other teams? Look at the Pelicans. Yeah. I don't think the Pelicans have had one of their starting guards.
Everybody's hurt
for more than a game.
The Pelicans are missing Trey Murphy. They just got Herb Jones back.
Alvarado hasn't played yet. Larry Nance finally played and is out again for another 2 weeks. Relax, guys, relax.
Yeah, Hero will be back when he's back. Yeah. Tony.
And the thing that's translated over the last 5 years, especially, is just you generate free throws and you keep the game slow. You're going to be in it at the end. And the team has the experience and the continuity to make it work. They're fifth in steals in the league right now. Turnover percentage for them is a better stat than pure turnovers because there's less possessions in the Miami Heat game than any other fucking game in the NBA. But their turnover percentage is second in the league. They're 15%. So 50% of all possessions, they cause a turnover. I mean, that's incredible. It's incredible. So when you're doing that, you're getting to the line at the 9th or 10th best rate in the league, and you're hitting them at a ridiculous percentage. I think they're shooting 85% from the free throw line. You're going to match another team as long as the game is slow and in the mud. And then you figure out the offense as it goes. You're going to inject Caleb. It's going to look ugly probably at parts tomorrow because Caleb's just coming back fresh. He hasn't played with 3 of these guys ever. So, there's going to be spots where it's wonky, but, this is the process. So Timmy said it's a season-long thing, man.
Timmy, anything additionally on this that has stood out to you? I know a lot's been made about Haywood Highsmith in particular.
I saw the comments. Some people want to talk about the Tyler injury, but really and truly, the moment. I wish I could find the meme, but you go from Crowder to Tucker to Highsmith. You've basically found the 6'5" power forward combo that's clicking right now. Haywood is young. He and I interviewed him at the training camp last year, and you could just tell that was when Tucker left, and he just was paying attention to the things Tucker did, and that jumper looks so smooth now. And I shout out to who said in the comments, when you decide to put Kevin Love on the bench for Haywood Highsmith, the connection, it was basically last game was jail. You have Jay Rich, Jimmy, Bam, Highsmith. That's jail. That's scary.
I'll tell you what, I feel way better about their defense this year, so far, and I think I agree with Van Lee, who says he thinks Haywood deserves the role player contract. Now, let's see how the season goes, but we were calling for him to get more minutes in the playoffs last year, particularly in the finals, and Tony and I both said at the start of the season that we think he's going to be starting forward by the end of the season. Not in November. Thought it was going to be All-Star break, January, something along those lines, but I think that was the move, and Haywood's been great. I don't think reintegrating Caleb and Tyler will be I don't think it's going to be super easy, but it's going to be very doable. I think people are going to freak out about it because it might look clunky at times, but I don't think it's going to be that. because those are two guys that are creators, right? And they play differently when those guys aren't there. Like Tyler being out in the playoffs forced him to play a different way. That was more Jimmy and Bam centric, Jimmy in particular. So they just reintegrate them and you figure that shit out over the course of the season. But this is why people were saying like, hey, if you have good catching and shooting around Jimmy and Bam, things will look very, very interesting. And if Duncan Robinson is going to play like this, if this Duncan Robinson thing is sustainable, then all of a sudden you're looking at him and what's left of his contract. You're like, not so sure I'm going to rush to include that in some deals at this point. You know what I mean? Like Duncan Robinson has actually become a little bit closer to a complete player to some degree. He's not amazing, but he can hit cutters. He can cut himself. He can shoot off the dribble sometimes, right? And he plays his role really, really well. And that's something that's impressed me a lot because I wasn't sure that he had that in him. Sean?
And you think about this, you give Spo multiple pieces that can close. Like, I don't know who's going to be in the starting lineup. You know, it depends on if we make trades. Let's just say it stays with Kyle. Tyler gets healthy, Jimmy, Haywood, Highsmith, and Bam, right? That's 5. All 5 of those guys you can potentially close with. You've also now got Caleb when he's healthy. You've got Jaime that's shown that you can trust him out there, right? You have Duncan if you need offense. You have Josh Richardson, which I know some people don't like, but that's not, you're not stretching it too far to say there's 9 different guys that can close for you. That hasn't been the case the last few years. You knew there were 5 or 6 maybe pieces. And when you arm Spo with that, each of those guys can do different things. Like Haywood gives you a little bit more of a stronger defender, right? Doesn't shoot the ball maybe as well or trust him as much. Jaime gives you that strong defender, but a little bit more like playmaking, passing. Duncan obviously gives you the shooting, improved defense. Which way do you want to go? It really just doesn't give you anything with like a big lineup. But who closes big these days anyway? So I just like that. That's you're giving Spo options rather than putting him in a corner and saying, look, like this is all I got. Make something out of it. So I really like where we're at. It just has to continue though.
Tony, or Timmy, or both, put a bow on this before we move on. And we're about to close in about 10, 15 minutes or so. So last thoughts on this winning streak, if there are any, because, I mean, Sean alluded to it. There are some games coming up that are interesting. You got the Nets, you got the Bulls on the road a couple different times. And then the big thing for me is, assuming Tyler's still out and we'll see what Caleb is at this point, are the games against the Knicks, the Cavs, and the Bucks, all of which are coming up. Because those are all good teams, like legitimately good teams. Well, the Bucks and Cavs aren't playing like it, but they're supposed to be good teams. The Knicks at least have a 7th best net rating in the NBA right now and are beating the Hawks as we speak without RJ Barrett.
I just want to address finally in the comments, under no circumstance you trade for Lonzo Ball when you're not even sure if he can ever play basketball again. It's just no way. I'd rather have Kyle Lowry than Lonzo Ball right now. I'm sorry.
Caruso and DeMar DeRozan.
That's the goal, honestly. But no, I just want to see how they integrate Caleb because again, all summer we were dreaming about a Caleb and Jay Rich front line of the zone, and now, like, I can't imagine Jay Rich and Caleb. But again, the offense is clunky. But I just want to see a Spoelstra FU lineup of like Jay Rich, Caleb, Highsmith, Jimmy, Bam. Like I just need to see it. I just need for
the masochistic lineup. Yes,
the sicko in me needs to see that for like a minute where. I always bring up this, right? One of my favorite defensive possessions. I literally watched Lance Stevenson have an aneurysm on the court. Like Kawhi literally did not move. Lance could not get past him. Like just to see a player melt down for that type of defense, I just need it. Like the SpongeBob meme, I need it. But I'm happy and I wish Bam got to play of the week. But this is the Heat. We don't care about accolades. We play for July. Play for June. So I'm just happy that Bam is, and it's very quiet. It's very quiet that. Bam has made another leap, but as a fan of Bam, who was just a backup to Hassan Whiteside, like I love it. I love it.
Okay. We're gonna play Floor is Mine in a sec. Here's where we would put imaging, but we don't have that yet. We're gonna do that. It's only our 3rd episode. First, tell you about a couple sponsors. Do we have both of them today, Manny? Or do we just have one? I should probably know this before going in. I know we definitely have Home Depot. And that's important because holiday season's coming up. If you need anything, Home Depot has it. We were talking about this last week. But if you get anything from Home Depot to help out the show, please look in the description. Use the link there. You will get really anything you need, and also, most importantly, hopefully a discount. So there's that. And I believe, nope, that's all we have. We only have Home Depot this week. All right, so forget the other sponsor because they're not really rocking with us beyond the first episode. But we have a couple more that we're working on, so we ain't worried about that. But shout out to Home Depot for supporting the program. All right, let's get into The Floor Is Mine. And we are going to get into, very quickly, we're going to go around the room, 60 seconds each. We'll time it maybe. But 60 seconds or so each on what is the thing that stood out to us the most this week. Before we end the show with your comments, I'm going to go to Tony first. What stood out to you most over the last week or so of NBA basketball?
Dallas Mavericks playing good enough defense to actually look super competitive and slightly terrifying with Kyrie playing a role. That's interesting. Didn't think I would see that. Indiana finding ways that my floor is yours is going to be on Tyrese Halliburton. These middle of the pack teams that are just playing above expectations, I think are so interesting to me. I also find the Clippers slipping hilarious. I'm the number one Clipper hater right behind Bill Simmons. I'm right there. So this is a great time for me.
As a James Harden atheist, I would agree. Tony gave us like 3 things there. Timmy, what's yours?
They called him a madman. Why did you take all this money to go to a team like the Rockets? But then the front office got Fred VanVleet, Dylan Brooks, Chuck Landale, and Jeff Green. Kevin Porter did some stupid stuff that we don't condone, that sent him home. And, I expected that Amen Thompson would be doing what Osar is doing right now. So it's just scaring me that the Rockets look this good. And the player I think is going to be their best player in 2 years hasn't even played significant minutes yet. Jalen Green doesn't look like he can do anything but score. But when you have, from Brooks to Fred to, and people trying to say maybe Ime's not that good. We saw what he did with the Celtics, and we see it now. Maybe Ime does deserve to throw his hat in that ring for the coach of the year. I just love what they're doing. I hated Brooks's antics last year, but I loved what he did in the Olympics. Like, he was voted the best defender. Like, he was basically the veteran of the young Canadian team, and it's showing now. Like, it's controlled chaos. And I think Brian and I spoke about this over summer. I wouldn't have minded him on the Heat. Could you imagine if he was our third on the Heat?
He would fit. He would definitely fit. And Houston has Ime Udoka, so they're taking shit seriously. I don't know how seriously I take them in terms of, like this entire season, but 6-3 start I didn't expect. And they do have guys on that team that could play. They wanted to compete. They almost got Brook Lopez too. And thankfully they didn't, because Alperen Sengun is good. It's very good. Sean.
He gave Jokic a business last week.
Yeah, that's true.
Sengun reminds me of prime Kelly Olynyk. But that's not my floor, it's yours. You know what? You had me hint towards it earlier. The last 2 weeks I talked about the Pacers. I talked about the Sixers. I'm going to stay with the Sixers because, as I was telling you guys in the chat when we were coming up with our topics, just about a block away from me over the weekend, our guy Kelly Oubre, we're not really sure what happened. Did he get hit by a car? Did he get hit by his girl? Did some random person hit him with a car mirror? I don't know. And you know what? I was out in the streets. I was investigating. I was also walking around, maybe drinking sodas. And I didn't see Oubre. I did hear the sirens, but apparently about a block away from me. But now there's a controversy. Did it happen on Broad and Locust? Did it happen on Sansom Street? Is Kelly Oubre lying about this? The Sixers always have weird shit going on. Why? I mean, you clear Harden out. You're winning all these games until you lost a few nights ago. And now all of a sudden, the guy that you got for a nice cheap contract, what is going on? Baby mama drama in Center City. The only positive I will say, to end on a positive note, Tyrese Maxey. Positive vibes, always smiling, killing it.
Yeah.
Love that guy.
Ooh. Well, and more positivity, it seems that we will be back by December 1st, give or take.
Well, that's unfortunate because a lot of people in their fantasy leagues dropped them.
I held on pretty tight.
Yeah.
I held on pretty tight.
Thinking that he was decapitated or something. I won't speculate, but that's just a weird situation. My thing will be for the second time in 3 weeks, Victor Wembanyama related, but I'm not going to just pick on him today because there's also Chet Holmgren, and boy, did that suck. They finally faced each other in a regular season game. Victor Wembanyama, 8 points, 14 rebounds, 4 turnovers. It was worse than it looked. 4 for 15 shooting. I thought it was 4 for 16 shooting, actually. And Bleacher Report did post one of his highlights. It looked great. And then I looked up and I was like, wait, isn't he shooting 3 for 11 right now? Then it ended up being 4 for 16. Chet Holmgren, 9.7 rebounds, shot 3 for 10. And also, I noted that when the Spurs did post that highlight, when Bleacher Report did post that highlight, the Spurs were getting their ass whooped. They lost the game 123-87. I think Chet Holmgren is going to be the Rookie of the Year. I'm disappointed that underwhelmed between the two of them, but I think they're both going to be great as long as they stay healthy, and I'm nervous about that on both ends. One a little bit more than the other, but it definitely wasn't the first time that LeBron and Carmelo Anthony played, because that I remember. This was not that. All right. Let's end this with comments.
4 minutes. You have 4 minutes for comments. Let's go.
Let's end this with comments. Manny, put up a bunch. Let's see what we got here. We got to get out of here at 9:35.
While he's doing that, Tyrese Halliburton low-key is shooting 60% on pull-up mid-ranges. Watch out.
Should have drafted him in fantasy. But I got Luka on one team and Jokic to the other, so I'm fine. Donut Dan, Brown, Tatum shaking in their shoes with that defensive lineup. I assume it's the Jay Rich, Caleb Martin, Haywood Highsmith, Jimmy, Bam, masochistic lineup that Timmy laid out earlier.
Yeah,
Brown. Or is this the okay? No, I think this is the hypothetical Oubre lineup.
No. Chico 77. Yeah. Giannis thinks he's playing football and doesn't kick the ball out. Okay. Thank you for that. I did bring up the Bucks earlier, but I don't know if they play football in Greece. They play the other football, the game, the beautiful game. Van Lee, Bulls are really barefaced. They ain't even trying to win after the rumors. Sean, do you think the Bulls should just tank, just sell off, and just bottom out at this point?
Let's go get Pat Williams. I don't care about all the other guys. Yeah. Isn't he an expiring guy that you want to try to extend? You can see if you like him, bring him in to the end of the year.
Perfect for next to Bain.
Send him to Applebee's in Sioux Falls, see what he's got.
Salas D asks me, when will I go trade for Caruso? In 2K, I've done it multiple times, actually. Once when I was using the Wizards in a rebuild, and once when I was using, it might have been the Heat, actually, because I have used the Heat in 2K before a couple different times. When will the Heat do it, though? I'm not sure. Greg, our boy, says, Highsmith, greater than Oubre on the court. I mean, look, I love defense, so I'm not going to dispute that. I'll be with Greg tomorrow on postgame after Heat Nets also. Might as well throw that out there. JJJ for Rookie of the Year. I assume you mean not Jaren Jackson Jr., but Jaime Jaquez Jr. I don't think he's going to win Rookie of the Year. I do think he can get all rookie, though. I legitimately do think he can get all rookie. When was the last time a Heat player got all rookie? Has it not happened since Hero Nunn that year?
It was Nunn, right? Yeah.
No, I think they both got it. I think Nunn was first team. Hero was second team. But
which is crazy that now you look back on it.
Yeah, I don't.
They
Precious didn't.
Yeah, they tried to throw it to Precious, but he didn't catch it, so he didn't make it.
Right.
Speaking of Precious, he decided the second half for an injured Jakob Poeltl.
We should have ended.
Jakob Poeltl. Thank God, injured? Precious is playing great minutes for Jakob Poeltl. Thank God.
Great. Van Lee says Patrick Williams sucks.
Until he gets to the Heat system.
He's not aggressive at all. He'd piss us off, but why not?
I'll ask the commenters this before we go, because the majority of you guys are Heat fans. The winning streak is at what now? 6, which is the longest that it's been since the end of the 2021-2022 season. How much longer do we think this win streak lasts? Give me a number, everyone in the chat, everyone in the room, and we'll get out of here. I'm going to say I think they blow one of the Bulls games, but I think they beat the Nets before that.
I think they blow the homestand. I think it ends at 6.
Oh, you think they lose tomorrow?
I think they lose tomorrow.
Timmy, stop counting us down. I haven't got any answers yet. Any other answers yet? Joseph Blanco says 10. So that's Nets, Bulls, and something else. Salas D says 2 more games. Ronald Font says 10. I think it's going to be 1 or 2 more.
I think it's
But
going
hey-
to be the Raptors on April 14th because we're resting guys and playing RJ Hampton. We're winning out the whole season.
Eating 5, baby.
Jesus Christ. End it there, Maddie. We're good. Thank you, everybody.
He can't end it. He's typing with one hand in a hurricane. There it is.
9. Melvin says 9. Shout out to Melvin. I sent them all these photos to use it. Sailors D says Timmy go get healed.
Yes,
Timmy,
yes, bring it. Yes, I'm gonna split
Timmy-
the body in a couple of weeks. Yes, bring
Timmy's-
body home.